Hello ladies and gents, I'm the Beanie 101 and I'm here with another NHL 18 franchise mode video with the Golden Knights. We're currently sporting a record of 14, 18 and 5, so we're not doing great in our first season. We're currently 7th in the Pacific Division and we're a fair few points off any sort of wild card. So we're getting to the point in the season where we want to consider trading away some of our players. And loading up on draft picks or trying to get some help to boost our offense. What we've really struggled to do is score goals. Now, that's not to say that our players are not good, but we generally have a lot of second-line forwards and not many first-line forwards. And so as a result, we've struggled really within our top six. What I have done is had a look at what our top six is lacking compared to some of the top teams in the NHL. And what I've discovered is we're lacking some offensive awareness. Our first line is okay, but not great. We've got Marchessault at 87 offensive awareness, Shipachev at 88, and James Neal at 87. Our second line drops off quite a bit, though. We've got 86 with David Perron, but then we've got 85 for Carlson and Riley Smith, and really we want to boost that up a little bit. Our third line is doing okay, but if we could get one more decent top six forwards in here and then drop one of these guys down to the third line, I think we're going to be much stronger overall. We could do some tweaking of our defense as well. I don't think, is there anybody that can come back? We can maybe give some Van Riemsdyk some time in place of Joe Morrow. But what I'm thinking of doing is actually something different compared to some of the other franchise modes that I've seen on YouTube, where everyone trades away all of their assets and they try to load up on picks and they try to build their team through the draft. You know what? That takes years. I want to be winning sooner rather than later. So I've had a look at other people's trade blocks and what other assets are on offer, and I found that, relatively speaking, the players that are elite potential but low chance tend to be very, very underrated. These guys are a little bit more boom and bust than some others, but an elite player can still be very, very good. Nick Ritchie is a good example here, but he's only 85 for offensive awareness, so he's not necessarily going to help us out this year. Someone that we could potentially trade for, though. And the fact that he's only 22 is going to stand him in good stead. So maybe Nick Ritchie is somebody that we want. However, I think what I actually want to go for is Sam Reinhart of the Buffalo Sabres. Take a look at him. He's a second-line forward, but he has a lot of elite playmaking ability. His puck skills are great. 91 deking, 89 for passing and puck control, but his senses are also fantastic. 97 discipline, 89 offensive awareness would make him the best at offensive awareness on our team if we were to trade for him. Defensively, he's no slouch. He's not particularly physical and he's not going to block many shots, but 86 defensive awareness and 87 stick checking is all right. And his skating is, again, average, nothing to write home about. But Sam Reinhart is someone who I feel that I want to get hold of. Now, actually, let's go back to Sam Reinhart for just 1 second. He's 22 years of age. So he's still very, very young. He's still got a good 4 or 5 years of development left to go. And for that reason, I'm thinking that I'm wanting to trade away one of my assets, maybe Cody Glass or Nick Suzuki. Now, Nick Suzuki is only a 59 overall, so I think that he's someone that I can definitely get rid of. He's only 18, he's got 4 years to grow, but you know what? Is he going to get to Sam Reinhart's ability? Probably not. And Sam Reinhart's trade value is even less. So I could even try and sneakily nick a draft pick from these guys as well. Let's try and get a 4th rounder. Could I get a 4th and a 5th? I might be able to. They want Nick Suzuki, so a 4th and a 5th and Sam Reinhart for Nick Suzuki. Is that going to go through? Yes, it is. So there we go. We have Sam Reinhart on our team. So here are our new lines. Sam Reinhart, let's see if we can just have a quick chat with him. He's glad to join the team, and he'll make sure this trade looks good for me. I'm going to give him a motivating message. We know you can bring a lot to the table. That's why we traded for you. Go prove it. He responds well. Excellent. So now we've got Sam Reinhart on our top line, 89 offensive awareness. Shipachev is 88, and James Neal is 87, but James Neal is very much our trigger man. So he currently only has 7 goals. Let's see if we can get him up to over 20 goals this year. Our second line is also going to look much better now with Marchessault, Carlson, and Perron. That's 86, 85, and 87 for offensive awareness. And then if we drop down to our third line, we've got Riley Smith there, who's 85, Riley Sheehan, who's 83, and Bodker, who's 84. So we're going to do some good stuff here, I think. We've got a couple of snipers on our third line. Let's see how we do. I'm also going to change my power play lines. Reinhardt is going to have some first line power play minutes. And I'm going to run with 4 forwards. So I'm going to run with Marchessault on the back end of our power play. Hopefully that's going to get things clicking quite nicely. So moving on with the sim, let's go around and have a look at this New York Islanders game. Sim all the way up to this point. Oh, Braden McNabb can play. That's good news. Let's take Marison out and stick McNabb in. Actually, McNabb and Van Riemsdyk can swap over. I'm going to keep McNabb on the third line at the moment because he's injured. I kind of want him to fully recover from his injury, but we'll potentially put him up there. 4-0 win against the Predators to start off. Alex Grant's on waivers. I don't need you. Can we beat St. Louis as well? No, we lose. And we lose against Chicago. That's not great. Nate Schmidt is available. That's for our AHL team. So let's take, actually, I like Scooter Vaughan. He's got a good name. So let's take Nightingale out. Schmidt comes in. But Schmidt's an example of a D-man that I can potentially trade away. I've got a lot of these D-man that's sort of like 87, 88 overall. New York Rangers, can we beat them? No, we lose to the Rangers as well. So we've gone 1 and 3. There's some players that want to meet us. Who wants to meet up with us? Just Bogosian. Okay, what does Bogosian want to say? We have taken away the captaincy. The reason why I did that is because James Neal was suffering morale-wise, and so I gave him the captaincy to give him a bit of a boost in the morale. So let's see what he does. Oh, there you go. We took a firm approach, and his morale has improved. That is good. So our morale at the moment is not looking too shabby. We've got a couple of people, Grabowski, Marison, and Van Riemsdyk. We are... Oh, man, Van Riemsdyk has gone down to a 77 overall. Is that right? Maybe we can trade away Van Riemsdyk. He's 25 years old. Let's see how we do against Edmonton, and I'm going to stop the sim if we don't win. Alexiak is out with back spasms. That's not good. McNabb is fully fit, though. So let's bring Joe Morrow in there. Can we beat Edmonton? Yes, we do. We beat them in the shootout. That is great. Scouting assignment-wise, I think there's potentially some decent players in the SHL. So let's look at the D-men for a couple of weeks. Can we beat Nashville again? Oh, Tom Hickey. All these injuries. So Van Riemsdyk is struggling. In fact, I'm going to trade away Van Riemsdyk, right? So let's put Tom Hickey in. Let's swap these guys over. That's looking like a strong-ish defensive core. We lost to Nashville, but we beat Tampa Bay. So let's see how we're doing. Sam Reinhart is still top points getter, but He's got 38 points, so he's picked up quite a few. 10 points in the time that he's been with us. That is good. James Neal has gone up to 13 goals. So he's starting to put the puck in the net. That is great. And the plus-minus is starting to improve slightly, I think. Shipachev is only -1. Reinhardt's plus-minus has gone up from +10 to +13. So our top line is getting stuff done. That is good. Reinhardt has the most goals on the team. James Neal is one behind. And you know what? William Karlsson is putting together a pretty decent season. He's only 80 overall, but 11 goals, 15 assists. That's okay. That's okay. So let's see if we can get a couple of picks for Van Riemsdyk. The Flyers would quite like him, and they're willing to give up hopefully a couple of picks for him. And the value might not be quite in our favour. It is accepted. Wow, we managed to get a couple of picks for Van Riemsdyk. That is okay. That is okay. And we get a disengaged player on our roster, which is useful. There were a few people that were disappointed. Is there anyone that wants a conversation? Joe Morrow wants a conversation. Let's try and motivate him. Oh yeah, that worked. Great. So we have lots of happy people. And only Marison and Grabowski are unhappy. But that's okay. That's okay. We can live with that. So let's go to edit our lines. Just double check that on defense we're looking okay. Yeah, we're looking all right. And let's sim to New York Islanders. Oh, Hickey has fractured his collarbone. That's going to be painful. So we need to call up one of our trusty D-men again. Marison can be substituted in all lines. That'll do. Alexiak is available. Even better. Out comes Marison. In goes Alexiak. Come on, another win against Carolina? No, not to be. Hutchinson has sprained his ankle. Okay, so we need to call up a goalie. This is going to be a problem. We've got Andrew Hammond, who's a fringe starter. He's 29 years old. We're going to have to call him up, really. Let's edit lines. And Hammond can go in there. And I think the AHL is going to need to get a new goalie. Good job we signed someone semi-decent. AHL team's still looking pretty good. How many points have some of these guys got? Oh, they're not doing too badly. Reed Duke doing well. Second line centre. Cadiles is doing not too bad either. Even our fourth line. David Clarkson's doing very, very well. And on D, Shea Theodore, not bad. He's got 7 goals. Wisniewski has a few assists. Schmidt is doing all right there as well. Liljegren has started to play. He's got low elite potential. Got a couple of assists. That'll do. And Slater Coco has got a few assists as well. So not too shabby at all. So here we go. The New York Islanders. What can we do against this team? It's another home game. Let's see how we get on. Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to the T-Mobile Arena, where the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be facing the New York Islanders. And the Islanders are going to be up against a familiar adversary. Marc-Andre Fleury starts in net for the Golden Knights. He's sporting not a great record of 11, 22 and 3. His goals against average is just below 3, but his save percentage is pretty good. He just needs a bit more help in front of him, and he needs to be facing fewer shots. For the Islanders, you've got Thomas Greiss in net, 18, 18 and 2. He's piecing together an okay season for a goaltender who's probably coming towards the back end of his career now. Just sporting a goals against average of just over 3 and a save percentage of just over 900. Means that the goaltenders are very evenly matched. The Islanders, of course, are going to know Marc-Andre Fleury all too well. Formerly of the Pittsburgh Penguins, he will have faced the Islanders many a time. He fights off the shot there. Vegas take the puck, play it down the wing. James Neal comes out with it. Skates it down, turns around, plays it back to the point. It goes to Reinhart, to Hamonic, to Reinhart. Merrill back to Hamonic. Takes the shot, gets deflected in front. And James Neal gets his stick tied up before he can take the shot. Moving on, the Vegas Knights take the puck down the wing. Marchessault plays it to McNabb, who just flings a wrist shot on net. It definitely hits something in front. It looks like a New York Islander skate, but that means that it flies past Thomas Greiss, and we have a 1-0 lead. That's McNabb's 6th goal of the season. Marchessault slams on the brakes, could see McNabb coming, and just plays a nice little puck right into his wheelhouse. McNabb plays not particularly a dangerous wrister, but it still finds its way into the net regardless, thanks to the nice deflection. Bogosian with the secondary assist on that one. Here in the second period, we see the Islanders advance. Bernier plays the puck to Ho-Sang, who rattles the puck off the post. Marc-Andre Fleury will be thanking his lucky stars. James Neal comes away with the puck. Everything is cleared. The danger is gone. Later on, we see a nice little pass into Tavares, but Riley Smith is there to bump him on the mini breakaway, and he can't get his shot away. Danger is averted. Here we have Merrill playing the puck to Hamonic, to Neal, who fights. Reinhart fighting down low, plays it back. The puck finds its way loose to James Neal, back to Reinhart. Oh, and Shipachev is right there on the doorstep and is not able to convert. Great work by Reinhart down low there, and he's still doing some dirty work. He gets the puck. Back to the point. Back to Reinhart. Oh, and he misses the easy shot. 2 big chances there for the Golden Knights to make it 2-0. Here, Andersley plays it to Tavares. He gets a double shot at it and hits the post with the rebound off Marc-Andre Fleury. That's 2 posts come to save Fleury in this game so far. Nice block by the Knights. Can they keep the shutout alive? Oh, there's a penalty on the play. There's a hooking call. No, looks like it's a slashing call with 0.7 seconds left in the third. So it looks like Vegas are going to be... There's a lot of slashes that went there. Marchessault really making sure that he takes that penalty to quell the Islanders' offensive opportunities. And on the resulting face-off, no time for the Islanders to do anything. Marc-Andre Fleury comes away with his 2nd shutout of the year. Congratulated by his teammates. Reinhart had some good work there throughout that game. It was a fairly physical game. A lot of big hits. Hamonic was a very dominating physical presence throughout the game. Here we see the goal. Marchessault to McNabb. It's flung on net. Hits a skate. And goes past Greiss. 1-0 Golden Knights. That's the end of your game. Looking at the stats, the Islanders outshot the Knights 32-23. No power play goals on this particular occasion. 0-4 for the Islanders, 0-2 for the Golden Knights. Pretty even in the face-off circle. Pretty even time on attack. Pretty even game, as denoted by the 1-0 scoreline. The difference maker was definitely Marc-Andre Fleury, 32 saves, shutout. McNabb with the only goal, but it was hardly elite playmaking there. Grice is going to be disappointed. He's still made 22 saves in tonight's effort. So, yeah, the Islanders really just didn't have the offense to back Grice up. Tavares had a couple of glorious opportunities. There were a couple of posts that got rung. Fleury will be thanking his lucky stars that the scoreline isn't slightly different in the reverse direction. So there we have it, a great win over the New York Islanders. Marc-Andre Fleury came up strong with a 32 save shutout. Very pleased with that indeed. We have one more game in the month of January before we hit Feb. So let's just simulate this. Oh, we have a trade coming in. Oh, wow. So the Buffalo Sabres want Beagle and McGinn and our 5th rounder, and they're going to give us a 6th and a 3rd. I don't like those odds, especially as the 3rd is a 2019 3rd, so we're going to decline that. Hutchinson is available to play. This is good. So let's substitute Hutchinson. And we have a scout assignment as well. This time around, where are we? The Q we've done once, the OHL we've done once, WHL we've done once as well. Let's scout 3 weeks for some D-men. Come on, we've got to beat Calgary. We win 5-0 against Calgary. Wow. That is pretty damn good. So looking at the individual stats of the team, Sam Reinhart is leading the team in points with 40. He's also leading us with goals with 15. James Neal has come up strong since being paired with Shipachyov and Reinhart though. About 10-15 games ago he had 7 goals. He's now up to 14. He's doubled his goals output in the last 10 games or so, which is fantastic. And it's a testament to the fact that we now have another playmaker on his line in Reinhart. 2 playmakers feeding James Neal. He's scoring goals. Shipachyov's plus-minus is now 0, which is good. And generally the plus-minus of everybody has gone up quite considerably. Let's see who else has scored plenty of goals. William Karlsson still putting up some decent points for us as our second-line centre. Perron is doing okay as well. Only 21 points but 10 goals. I can forgive him, I suppose, a little bit. Riley Smith and Marchessault, the 2 guys that we got from the Florida Panthers, are doing all right. They're tracking for pushing a 40-point season. Smith will be maybe a little bit disappointed with that. He's scored 20 goals twice in his career so far, and both times he's managed to eclipse 50 points. I think he's on the 3rd line now, so he's probably not doing great. Let's have a look at our D-man. Our D-man, Hamonic, has 15 points, 3 goals, 12 assists. Not terrible, not great. He's only -1 though, which is good. Bogosian is by far the worst plus-minus on the team at -18, but he does have 9 points. McNabb has come up strong in the goals department. He's the one that's leading our defensive core in goals, so that's pretty good, but not really much production from our D-men at all, which is probably to be expected from an expansion team. They don't have a huge amount of offensive awareness, so maybe something we want to look at addressing in the future. Looking at our goalies, Marc-Andre Fleury is sporting a decent save percentage of 912. Hutchinson is playing great as a backup, 933 as a save percentage and 2.06 goals against. Marc-Andre Fleury 2.89, maybe a smidgen high, but we've certainly been putting together a handful of wins in recent years. Sorry, in recent weeks. Looking at our AHL team, we have Pierre-Edouard Bellemare leading the team with 51 points on 47 games. Reed Duke is not far behind. Our centre 1-2 punch in the AHL is doing great guns. Nistrazil has 46 points. Blandisi, who was one of our free agent pickups, is on our first line in our AHL team, and he's doing great. 15 goals, 27 assists on the season. David Clarkson, wow, he's on our fourth line in our AHL team, and he's putting up 34 points. He's doing great. And let's have a look at our defenseman. Wisniewski is 20 points, Coco 15, Schmidt 14, Theodore 13. You can see straight away that our defensive core in our AHL team is doing far, far better than our NHL group. Liljegren we've put in for 25 games. He's only got 2 assists thus far. Maybe we want to bump him down to third line duties and have our top 4 is Wisniewski, Coco, Schmidt and Theodore. Our goalies, Hammond, 26 games, 9.33. Okay, our goalies backup is not doing quite so well, 8.96. Only 2.61 goals per game though. Hammond, lights out, 1.43 goals a game when he is in net. That is pretty fantastic. And how does this compare to the rest of the NHL? Let's see who is leading. Starting with the skaters. You've got Jamie Benn leading the NHL at the moment with 65 points. John Tavares was 65. We shut him out last time round when we played them. Crosby and Malkin are up there as well. Tyler Seguin. Looks like Pittsburgh and Dallas have some really good output from their first line. Ryan Getzlaf getting it done for the Anaheim Ducks. Phil Kessel down there as well. So really the Penguins putting up a lot of points. Who is leading the league in goals? Jeff Skinner, believe it or not. 31 goals from 50 games. You've got Seguin and Ovechkin there as well. McKinnon having a great season for the Colorado Avalanche. And Nazem Kadri is also having a very, very good season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Doing really, really well. Looking at assists, you've got a D-man leading the league in assists. He's clearly been feeding Jamie Benn and Seguin. 44 assists from Jean Klimberg. Jamie Benn also has 42 assists. Tavares and Crosby, lots of helpers there. Nylander playing playmaker for the Toronto Maple Leafs, 38 assists. Very, very interesting. I wonder how some of our young players are doing. So let's have a look at the Maple Leafs. You've got Austin Matthews that only has 41 points. I say only 41, that's pretty good. He must be on second line duties because the first line of Marner, Nylander and Kadri are putting up some decent points. Let's have a look at the Edmonton Oilers specifically as well, because we couldn't see how well Connor McDavid was doing. He's got 45 points in 49 games. Maybe not getting too much help outside of his first line. Kefblom is doing some damage. 24 points on 49 games. That's pretty good for a D-man. Pretty good indeed. Yeah. And then looking at the standings, we have the Golden Knights that are still 7th in the Pacific Division. We are within touching distance of the Canucks and the Coyotes. But we're still not a fantastic team, and goal scoring is still our Achilles heel. You can see that actually compared to goals against, we're pretty middle of the pack in the Pacific Division. The Canucks, Coyotes and Flames are nowhere near as good defensively as we are, but we are struggling for goals. Hopefully Reinhardt has improved that goals for per game in the last few games, so we're on the rise. But we'll see how the rest of the season goes. I'm hoping that we can catch the likes of the Coyotes and the Canucks now that we've added to our team. Looking at the NHL as a whole, actually, let's look at the East first. So the Penguins are leading the Eastern Conference with a record of 30, 15 and 7. No surprise there. They're putting up 3.63 goals per game. That is lights out. The Rangers are way, way, way behind with 3 goals per game. So the Penguins absolutely running away with things. The Carolina Hurricanes are having a great season as well. Not necessarily scoring a huge amount. They must be keeping games tight. But 30, 16 and 4 is not too shabby either. The Flyers, the Rangers, the Maple Leafs, the Panthers and the Capitals all doing fairly decent. And then as you go outside of the playoff race, you've got the Islanders, the Red Wings. Yeah, and then the bottom feeders. It looks like the New Jersey Devils are doing far, far worse than everybody else. Looking at the Western Conference, the Jets are having a great season and are leading the West ahead of the Ducks and the Oilers. The Dallas Stars, the Blues, the Sharks and the Kings and the Predators are there or thereabouts. And then in terms of the teams that are missing the playoffs, the Flames are having a horrible season at the moment. The Blackhawks are equally having a terrible year. I wonder if the Blackhawks have been suffering from a number of injuries, because they really shouldn't be down 15th in the West. They really shouldn't be down there. We have a better record than the Chicago Blackhawks. Wow. The Canucks, the Coyotes, the Wild, the Avalanche, yep. I'm going to take a look at the player stats of the Chicago Blackhawks and work out quite why they have been doing so badly. Let's have a look. Chicago Blackhawks. So Kane and Taves have played all of their games. Panarin has played plenty of games as well, as has Hossa, Keith. Yeah, maybe they just don't have much outside of their first line. I mean, 40 out of 40 points for Taves and Kane of 50 games is not great considering the types of players they are. They've really been not doing quite so well. And their goalies, Crawford, 9.1. See, the save percentage is not terrible, and the goals against average is not terrible. Maybe they just haven't been putting together a decent season. They don't really have a backup goalie outside of Corey Crawford. It'd be interesting to see what the Chicago Blackhawks lines are. So here is how the Blackhawks look, and oh wow, their bottom six is not great. But their first line of Panarin, Taves and Kane should be doing great guns. And their second line, Panik, Anisimov and Hossa. Okay, that's not great. Maybe their second line is struggling. Yeah, Anisimov is not having a great year. And then you've got Hinstroza, Nick Schmaltz, and Hartman. Schmaltz and Hartman should be doing okay, but they're really not getting stuff done. And I wonder about their defense. Keith and Hjalmarsson, great. Oh, their D is sorely lacking. They really don't have anyone outside of their top three. And then looking at their goalies, they've got Jeff Glass as their backup. And he's played 21 games and won 6. So the vast majority of their losses... Oh, having said that, Corey Crawford's played 35 games and only won 13. But you can't really blame him because his save percentage and his goals against average is not too bad. I fancy it's the defense that's letting up too many shots with the Blackhawks. So disappointing to see that they really can't piece together a decent season. But anyway, that is where we are going to leave it for the video this time around. We've had an okay February. I think we've pretty much gone even guns. We've gone 6 and 6 in the month of January. So certainly an improvement where we most certainly had a losing record in previous months. Maybe now is the time to trade away some of our AHL and some of our bottom six to load up on draft picks, just get second and third round picks, things like that, so that we can really flesh out our prospects in the coming years. But I'm quite happy with my top six. If we do have a look at my lines, let me know if there's anybody that you feel I should desperately trade away. But actually, my top nine, to be honest, Bodka could be someone that's a trading asset. He's got speed, but he's not really got the offensive awareness that I want. He's listed as a second line forward, but I fancy he's not really going to be good enough for me. Sheahan is probably going to be a third-line centre for the majority of his career, which is perhaps a bit of a disappointment. Maybe we can upgrade Sheahan. Beagle is not too far behind, to be perfectly honest. So Sheahan and Burka, they could be trade baits. Riley Smith is doing okay for someone who's 81 overall. He's got some decent attributes, so we might want to keep Riley Smith. Marchessault is on a very good contract at the moment, so perhaps Marchessault could be more of a trading piece if we do want to get rid of anybody in our top six. And likewise, Perron, 29 years old, maybe we can get rid of him as well. But I think that Reinhardt, Shipchev, Neal, Carlson has had a really good season. At 25 years old, I'm hoping he can improve. And then on the defensive side, yeah, we're looking okay. We have Maricin, who's not really been doing much. And in the AHL, our D is looking okay. I'm going to swap Liljegren for Slater Kokok, just because Liljegren hasn't really been getting too much done. So let's drop him down to play third line minutes. But yeah, we could potentially trade away quite a few of these AHL guys. Blandisi and Leah, who are two guys that we picked up in free agency. They've fleshed out our AHL team fantastically well, but maybe now is the time to trade one or two of these guys away as depth guys to teams that are looking to make the playoffs and really flesh out. You know, someone like Chicago could probably do well to have someone like Nistrazil on their bottom four. Anyway, that's it for this video. There are plenty to think about, some thoughts about trading people away. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But I've been the Beanie 101. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next video.